All right, so it is time to talk about the next thing about PSA, and it's, will PSA ever decrease prices? I think the truth of the matter is that there's a lot of demand when it comes to sports cars and sports cars grading, and not just sports cars, but trading cars grading completely. I mean, people are going to be grading Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and James Bond's cards. So it just makes sense that PSA is going to have high prices the way they have them now, but will it ever decrease? Um, the best way to really look at it is if you're having all of this demand, and even I'm willing to bet, even though PSA canceled its most of its services, it still has Super Express and also has walkthroughs. Super Express is $300, walkthroughs is $600, and I'm willing to bet people are still sending in a ridiculous amount of cards. I mean, PSA received in the last 3 days. They received more cards than they've received in the last 3 months. So there's high demand, even though a lot of prices are going down across the board. The issue isn't doesn't really have much to do with, oh, people are just leaving or the market's crashing and people aren't uninterested in trading cards. That's not the case at all. I think the interest has gone up exponentially, but I think there are multiple things going on. I can talk about that in another video, but this is a good and very positive sign because there's so much demand to get graded cards, and that means there's so many new people coming into the market, and they were following the strategy of buying raw cards or buying packs, ripping them and then sending them in to get graded. And before the price increases, you do value for $10, $11, around that, and get the cards back in 6 months, maybe 8 months, and you only paid $1 for it. You pay $10 to get it graded. It comes back a 9. You may sell it for 30. It comes back a 10. You sell it for 100. Now that's not really the thing, because they increase prices because there's such high demand and they're trying to dissuade people from grading cards. However, that is not working out because more people are just sending in more cards. I think people are just like, oh no, it's just going to only continue to increase. So I need to get my cards in now before they increase it even more or they delay certain things. And I think them canceling PSA service is actually only going to increase demand, which sounds crazy, right? Like they're going to increase the demand for sports cars because they cancel everything except Super Express and walkthroughs? Yes, because people are going to try these other companies that are much less prepared than PSA, SGC, Beckett, BGS. HGA isn't prepared for this. CSG isn't prepared for this. None of the other grading companies are prepared for this or really able to step up. So they're going to try these other grading companies and it's not going to work. And demand is still going to be there and even with high prices. And they're going to find out how many people are willing to do Super Express and walkthroughs to get their cars graded for $300 or $600. And they're just going to be like, we're not going to keep prices the same, and we may actually increase prices, which is disheartening to a lot of people if that was their business, to grade cards and then get them back in 6 months to a year and flip them. I'm sure people were making huge margins, probably 2, 3, 4, 5, 600% on a lot of cards. And if they get them early enough, I mean, people probably don't even know about these players. They just get a bunch of random guys in the NBA, get a Keldon Johnson from last year, and then they get it back at the beginning of the season and they flip it, and Keldon Johnson's stuff is going crazy. So that's something that people don't really understand yet, but they're about to. Like, prices are going to stay the same. And if they do drop prices, better take advantage of it. I wouldn't be standing on the sideline waiting to get cars graded if you plan to absolutely grade them, because you're just going to pay that premium. Because there's so many people coming in. There's so many people who have money that are coming in, and they're willing to pay the premium. They're willing to pay because the margins for a PSA 10 are so high. That's why people, even if a 9 you lose money, but a PSA 10 you still gain a significant amount of money, people are still going to do it because there's still a gambling aspect, and that doesn't dissuade people from buying cards or packs or boxes, or even ripping packs and boxes. That is actually probably more of a driver. So yes, PSA is going to increase prices, and most of the other grading companies are going to increase prices because there's just the demand there. Other companies increasing prices is actually going to hurt those companies, but PSA is going to make them the premium company, and I think people are going to grade, higher quality cards, at least mid and higher tier cards with PSA, which means they're just going to be the investment grade company. And these other companies may be just loyal customers, and maybe just a smaller group. And, or, they're just going to use these just to flip cards. And once the flippers are gone and, those people are gone and moving on to something else, it's going to take a major hit for their company and their popularity in a sense. So that's really how the future is going. PSA absolutely 100% controls the market when it comes to grading. And yes, we're getting into a junk slab era, and it is not going to get any better. It's going to be more and more and more cards graded. So I wouldn't even worry about wax. And it's like, oh, I got a PSA 10. No, don't even worry about that. Luka may be different. I think Zion is just too many cards. But Luka may be a different breed. But most of these other guys, maybe a Devin Booker graded card. But most of these other guys, there's just too many cards and slabs. So I'll keep you updated. And if you want to hear more, please comment and subscribe.